Welcome to the Allie and Maddie show. This is our third episode. Thank you for making it this far with us. We're really happy you guys are here with us today, but we need to talk.
Okay, so we promise it's not you, it's us. We're not breaking up with you, but we are feeling the need for a little bit of a change. We know this is only episode 3 and we changed it up in episode 2. But we swear we think we figured it out now. Okay, so after watching the first episode, we thought we'd go back to our old ways of what life was like at Riot Radio back in the day, where it was all entertainment news. But then we watched episode 2, and as much as we loved the rapport and what we were talking about, we realized, you know what, we want to talk a bit more about each other and the direction that we're going in as individuals and as a newly reunited duo. I'm going to call it
the dynamic duo that was and is.
So we're deciding to change things up to bring a little bit more authenticity to your Allie and Maddie experience. And I think, and we think, not just me, we think this will be a bit more engaging for everybody. You're going to get to know us more, what our passions are, and all that fun jazz.
Exactly. We met in 2012 at Riot Radio. That's when the original Allie and Maddie show aired. And since then, we've changed. The world has changed. We feel like it would be a disservice to this platform that we're trying to create if we didn't be true to ourselves and be true to tune into what the world is, what's going on in the world around us.
And what we're passionate about as well, right? And while entertainment and all things entertainment gossip is still a huge part of who we are, because that's not going to change, let's be real, we're just going to bring a bit more authentic content to what we're doing and still have some entertainment in there as well. We're not, completely throwing that out the window, because then that would be a disservice to us as well, because we love talking about that stuff.
I would just like to add that for the last few years, I haven't had anybody to gossip about entertainment with, because nobody. Shout out to my friend Cam, though. Shout out to my friend Cam, because he is, you would love Cameron. He is the 90s baby of my heart. I will get his playlist for everybody on Spotify, and I will link it because it is perfect. Like, nobody has been there to talk about Britney with me except for you and him, and like he has been in Ireland and doing stuff, so like now I'm like, yes, Maddie's back in my life. I can gossip about nonsense most.
That's what we really do. We talk nonsense about anything and everything that has to do with our lives, and we want to bring that to this show.
Yeah, right. And sometimes the nonsense does have a point, and there is sometimes we will be serious, because there is some things that are very near and dear to our hearts, and we think that they deserve a platform. But most of the time it might be nonsense.
You get to know us in the end of the day, and that's why you're watching. We're doing this because we're loving this whole reconnection thing that we're doing through this podcast. We are excited to share what we've been through, what we're going through, our new passions, and our lives and what's going on there, and how it can relate to some of you. And we're looking on bringing on guests on future shows to give us professional and authentic views to our discussion. So it's not just Allie and I pretending that we know anything and everything, because
I was just gonna say,
we don't.
No, exactly. And that's a big thing that's happened to us in the last 8 years, is that we've grown and matured, and I definitely don't think I know everything. I know nothing.
Not even close.
No.
And these authentic views will add to our discussions. And as always, we encourage you to ask questions, give us ideas. We're always open for new ideas and new things that we can talk about that maybe we didn't think of, or maybe we didn't know about, and we get to learn something new. That's another thing. We're lifelong learners, so let us know.
Forever students.
Exactly. But again, like as we said, the last segment of each episode will always be about entertainment. We want to end things off on a bit of a lighter note. We'll have our rapid fire headlines, and then we'll choose one of those headlines to expand on, because we really like that as part of our last episode. Because
Yeah.
again, it's only episode 3 and we've changed formats twice.
Third time's a charm.
Exactly. I love it. I
Oh
love it.
man. Okay, so we're gonna interview each other. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought this would be a great way for you guys to get to know who we are a bit better. On our social media channels, we post a little bit of get to know your hosts. But this is a bit more in depth, and we also get to ask each other questions that we don't really know the answers to about the other person, and it's been a while, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah, me too. I'm super, super excited. Like Maddie said, it's been a while since we've actually physically seen each other. I had a human.
So that's gonna start kicking, like that's just a perfect segue into my very first question for this interview. What have you been up to since the original Ali and Maddie show?
Oh boy.
Human is one. You
A
created a
human. Her name's Ava. She's wonderful. Like I mentioned in previous episodes, when I moved to Oshawa in 2012, Garrett and I met in 2012. And after Ali and Maddie ended, we moved to Sault Ste. Marie for a bit, which is my hometown. We did that for a couple years. As anybody will come to learn, that is not my favorite place on the planet, but I love everybody there. Hi, if you're also watching, because I know Ashley might be watching, so I love you. But it's not my favorite place except for the food and the people. So we did that for a bit, and then we moved to Belleville because I spilt 5 serving trays of pasta in the back seat of my car. Yeah. This is the best. I love telling this story. Because my life comes full circle because of 5 serving trays of pasta.
If now, for those who don't know, Ali has an Italian background, so this just makes it 1,000 times better.
I love pasta. My blood is red because it's red sauce. One time I flew home and I bought like $200 worth of dried sausage. And I was in a panic because I was afraid they weren't going to let me fly home with it. My mom's like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'll eat it all right now.
We're doing this. Just,
I don't even care. Nothing compares. So shout out to Aurora's as well. I'm just gonna shout out everybody until they give me free food because it costs me a lot of money.
Okay, so you were driving 5 cases, 5 things
serving.
of pasta.
Yeah. So I got cut off. I heard the aluminum crumble. It made a giant mess. Garrett, we had just bought the car too. That's the best part. We called. So I called him. I was in a panic and I was like, "You're gonna kill me." And he's like, "Why did you crash the car?" And I was like, "No, worse." And he's like, and I was like, "I just spilled 5 serving trays of pasta in the back seat." So we cleaned it all up. He's a detailer by trade. He likes to clean cars. And we had nothing to clean it with, so we literally brought it to a car wash, like a do-it-yourself car wash, pulled the seats out, everything, and he had a cooler full of hot water and some like dollar store chemicals. He posted some pictures to Facebook. A couple people in Belleville offered him a job. We packed our stuff in a said car in a U-Haul and moved down here. We've been here ever since. A couple years ago, we decided to open a detail shop. We had a baby. Her name's Ava, like I said. We had a fire a week before I had her. We lost the business. We moved.
You can't make this stuff up, folks.
You really can't.
You really can't.
And this is like the super abridged version. Life has been an adventure, Matisse. That is what has gone on. And now currently I've just graduated from television and film, and I do this once a week.
So from the Ali and Maddie show at Durham to the Ali and Maddie show on Twitch, full circle. Full circle.
And yeah, that's my life.
Okay, my second question. You mentioned Ava and being a mom, or as you put it, I grew a human. How has being a mother changed you for good or for bad?
Oh goodness, I don't think that it has changed. Oh, maybe some people say it has changed me for bad. There's a lot of things that have occurred to me in my lifetime as a young woman, that now that I'm a mom, if they ever happened to her, I'd be in prison. So maybe that's bad. But it's made me increasingly aware that I'm not getting any younger,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really, oh man, like that's a thing to struggle with. She makes me smile every day. She's made me infinitely better. She has made me an infinitely better person. If you like to nap, maybe like put off having kids for a couple of years until you get the naps out of you, but 10 out of 10 recommend.
Ali PSA, if you like your naps, maybe don't have kids just yet.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Really, really enjoy like a year of solid naps and then have the child, because unless that baby likes to nap, I'm lucky Ava likes to nap. So, but yeah.
Okay, so moving on from that, those who used to watch the original Ali and Maddie shows know that you were obsessed, like not just obsessed, but obsessed with Macklemore.
Yeah.
How has that obsession progressed? How has it morphed? What is the evolution of this love for Macklemore?
It exists still. He hasn't. Okay. I don't really know how to put this. I thought I had given this question a lot of good thought. I still love him. He hasn't put out music. His old music really speaks to me. His last album had a lot of really good songs on it, but I found he's gone really commercial. So it's not really still there for me. But I still love his old stuff. Like I'm still like I'll put it on and
Mandy,
I'll
pop and tag.
I'll put it on and I'll enjoy it. It was really cool to see him in concert. He puts on a fantastic show. I'm really hoping he'll come out with some new music. I'm really hoping, because he does have such a political voice, that he'll use what is going on in the world to maybe have maybe he's cooking up a great album. I'm really hoping.
Fingers
But
crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, until then, Drake still owns my heart. Um,
All right. Speaking of music and music artists, if you had to have only five, I have these written down, FYI, that's why I'm looking down. So I didn't have to go through our script. If you were to only have 5 songs on an iPod or on your phone or whatever for the rest of time,
Oof.
what, and only those 5 songs, what would they be?
Okay. This was hard for me, and I asked Maddie if she would let me pick 5 artists, but she said no,
Hard no.
because she knows that this was going to be a challenge for me. Yeah, top 5 songs. Like I mentioned, I'm a ginormous Drake fan. Shout out to Drake. I've got 6 God tattooed on me. That's how much I love him. People are gonna be like, "Oh my god, you think he's cute," or whatever. But no, I just really love that he loves Toronto. So one of my top 5 songs is "Best I Ever Had," because it was the first song that really got him noticed. It really was the thing that set it off for him, and I think I just I love Toronto. People can say what they want, because I mean, like, yeah. Next is Mr. Macklemore, "Love Song." That's near and dear to my heart, because Macklemore is important to me, as you know, because he really speaks to a lot of things that went on with my relationship. So, yeah, that's just "Love Song." Love Song. Yeah. "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles, because it reminds me of my dad.
Aww.
"Daniel" by Elton John, because my brother's name is Daniel. And I love him very much. There's a bunch of songs that remind me of my mom, but I mean, this is a toss up. I'm actually going to slash the last one, because I'm going to take it off, because "Landslide" by actually Dixie Chicks version, not the original version, but "Landslide" by the Dixie Chicks. Well, covered by the Dixie Chicks.
The chicks now.
Chicks. Yes, thank you for correcting me. "Landslide" by the Chicks. Because it reminds me of my mom, and personally I just think it's a better version. Not to say that I don't love Fleetwood Mac, because I love Fleetwood Mac. I just really love I think Natalie's the lead singer, right?
I think so, yeah.
I really love her voice, and I really, really love the vocal track that she laid down in that song. So that's the only difference. Stevie Nicks, I still love you. Best I Ever Had by Drake, Love Song by Macklemore, Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, Daniel by Elton John, and Landslide, the Chicks cover, even though I love Fleetwood Mac. Okay.
All right. This should be an easy question. What are your top pick-me-up foods? So if you're feeling down, what do you go for?
Oh, hands down, 100% of the time, burritos. Burritos are my sad food.
And happy food?
They're my everything food. If I'm like, if I need to celebrate, I eat a burrito. If I need to console myself, I eat a burrito. The spiciness is really what changes. And cilantro, I feel bad for you if you can't eat cilantro.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. There should be, like, honestly, really, like, I know there's a lot of problems in the world, but if they invested in like a pill, like a lactose pill almost, that you could take so you could eat cilantro, I would invest in that.
I'd recommend.
Yeah, you're missing out. And so Donairs, I don't know if you know what a Donair is, but our good friend Matthew Duncan from Pre-Media at Durham introduced me to Donairs, their meat, cheese, and sauce. But the sauce it's a sweet sauce. They hail from Nova Scotia. They are a delectable treat. I 100% recommend them. The trick is that they have to be a family recipe. The sauce has to be a family recipe. If you just get it and it's generic, it's not going to be the same. But I actually used to work for a place here in Belleville called Nova Deli. If you're ever in Belleville or Trenton, get Nova Deli because they are hands down the best. Oh man. So now it's my turn. Our questions are very similar, but our lives are different. So So my first question is, what have you been doing since we finished Allie and Maddie?
So, since we finished Allie and Maddie, I went to school at Durham I stayed at Durham, let me rephrase. So, I just changed program, completed one, and did the public relations program at Durham, which I now teach in, which is really, really cool.
That's actually amazing.
On that. So I teach in the public relations program at Durham. I work for an amazing nonprofit called CNIB, or Canadian National Institute for the Blind. So I work for the CNIB Foundation as well as Vision Loss Rehabilitation Canada and CNIB Deafblind Community Services. They all fall under the umbrella of CNIB. So day in and day out, I'm thinking of inclusion, accessibility, all in the realm of communications and public relations, which is really, really cool. I absolutely love my job. And I get to teach, so I get to shape the, future PR practitioners of the world, for better or worse. I apologize. I don't know. My students will say I'm a good teacher, and I'm just kind of like, is it because I give you Timbits at the beginning of every class that you say
you bring people Timbits? Can I be?
So every class, this is my thing. Our class is at 8 a.m. on a Thursday. So any 8 a.m. class is just bad news, in my opinion. Because like you're not there. So every day every class, I'll bring a box of Timbits for the class. And on test days, I bring a box of actual donuts.
You're a good human. You're the kind of change we need in the world, Matisse.
That's one Timbit at a time. It's just a little pick-me-up, and it gets, yes, it gets them sugar high, but it has them participating and getting their brains going a little bit quicker on top of the coffees that they'll bring into class. And then, I volunteer, and I also just launched my own company called Quaido Communications. So I am, I guess I would say. I am a public relations and digital accessibility agency, because it's just me. Aside from that, in my personal life, I have 2 dogs. I have 2 Old English sheepdogs, Agnes and Edith, who are named after the 2 youngest daughters in the movies Despicable Me. They are ridiculous and adorable and fluffy. They're so fluffy, I'm going to die. That was really what kicked this all off. I've been with Peter for 10 years, so we were already together when we started the Allie and Maddie show. We're still together, happy to say. But yeah, so just keeping busy with work and that sort of thing for now. Babies in the future, maybe?
Yes, please, maybe. My child needs a friend.
Yes.
Next question. What is your proudest accomplishment in the last 5 years?
My proudest accomplishment would have had to be in 2018. It's 2018? Lordy, yeah, 2018. So I was up for PR in Canada's Top 40 Under 40. And they had this reception. Peter and I went. And I'm just expecting top 40 under 40. That's all I was nominated for. But they have special awards for like top PR professional for a nonprofit, top PR professional at an agency, all the specialized awards. And so they're talking about those, and they get to the PR professional of the year for nonprofits. And the guy says a name. And I'm sitting there like applauding and be like, good for that person. Where are they? Like, because it's like, oh, Canada. And so Peter's like, where is this person? And the guy who announces looking at me like, it's you. And I was like, I don't know what you just gibberish. That's not my name. And he goes, it's you. Like, because we had name tags. He's like, it's you. I was like, holy crap. Like, I didn't know what to do. So that was by far, because I'd only been in the profession at that point 2.5 years. So to get that acknowledgement and that recognition, I was like, holy crap. I think know what I'm doing. Yeah. And to this day, I fight, imposter syndrome left, right, and center. So that, to this day, I hold so very near and dear to my heart that I got that recognition. And yeah.
So next question. What are you most passionate about in your free time?
Self-care. In regards to just trying to relax. I don't know how to take a vacation or time off at all. It is terrible. So I'm trying this new thing where I, at the end of the day, I'll either read a book that isn't work or school or anything related. So hard.
A book for enjoyment.
A book for enjoyment, I believe, is what the kids say nowadays. I blog. I volunteer. I play with my dogs. And just, I know this doesn't go along with the whole self-care and just relaxing thing, but learning about stuff that's happening in the world to a certain extent. Lately, it's been too depressing. There's just so much negativity and just, negative after negative after negative. So I stay up to date as to what's happening, but I don't think I'm as in tune with what as in tune as I would have been in the past with some stuff. And I'm hoping that changes, once life kind of gets back to a quote unquote normal, where I'm not just stuck in my house every day working. But for now, just taking that time to play with my dog, spend time with my husband. I'm really into this whole shop local thing. Like, it's become a bit of an obsession. I live in Oshawa, Ontario, and in Bowmanville, Ontario, and in Brooklyn, Ontario, they have this little store called Markets by Dream Day. And it's all local artisans that go and they display their stuff. So I'm obsessed with them. Today I went to the one in Brooklyn and I got like a necklace and a bracelet and these amazing chocolate chip cookies that I'm now obsessed with.
With an I, by the way.
Brooklyn with an I. We're not crossing that border.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify because people are going to be like, what? So fourth question. What is your favorite food and what is your favorite drink?
Okay. I would say my favorite food is a toss-up between popcorn and French fries.
Okay.
Which is really weird.
I get popcorn, like just plain old popcorn or like flavored popcorn?
No, plain old popcorn. Plain old good movie theater popcorn or like at-home popcorn or like just popcorn. Any type of popcorn. I love popcorn. Yeah, see? And that's what happens to people. You say popcorn, they're like, sweet, I need it. Or you smell popcorn and you instantly crave it. Yeah. So popcorn. And the other one is French fries. I love French fries. I don't like with ketchup, with gravy, as a poutine, whatever it is. I just love French fries. As for favorite drink, okay. Cold is from Starbucks and it's a mocha frappuccino.
Okay.
So good. if it's just a like soft drink, it has to be this. It has to be in a glass, proper glass, with ice, and it's Pepsi.
Yeah, I feel
Like,
that.
like it just there's just something for that.
Yep.
And then if it's warm, it's just coffee. I'm not gonna lie. Like, give me a good cup of coffee. Liquor, strawberry daiquiris or margaritas?
And last question: if you could read only 3 books for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Okay, so I thought long and hard about this. The first is my favorite book of all time, The Count of Monte Cristo. Like I've read it so many times, the spine's just like destroyed. The second is by my favorite author, and it looks like a Bible, but it's not a Bible. It's called Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal.
I
Like
like the
legit, like a Bible.
Is it Ron Rice paper too?
Yes.
Bless, I love it.
Yeah. It's by Christopher Moore. Absolutely hilarious. If you haven't read it, I strongly recommend. Third, and I know it's controversial, and it still has the Oprah's book club sticker on it, but it's A Million Pieces.
Have you watched the movie?
I haven't yet, no. But the book really resonated with me, whether it's factual or not, and whatever is factual, whatever the controversy. But the book really resonated with me. So
yeah, I've always enjoyed that book.
Did you read What Your Fragility Is? It is on my list.
Yeah.
I have it on my Apple Books. It's next on my list. I'm just finishing up Atomic Habits.
So anyway, yeah, that I love A Million Little Pieces. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite books too, because of whether it's factual or not. It is the story is really good, and speaking, especially now having known some people who have gone through addiction and whatnot, it does highlight some of the actualities of the world.
All right. So, yeah, that's really like what we thought we would do for this episode, was really just kind of get to know each other and get you guys to get to know us a bit better, that sort of thing. But now, as promised, we're going to be talking about our rapid fire headlines.
Rapid fire, yeah.
Right. So Allie, because you actually had them written down and I didn't, I'm gonna let you take the lead and say what they are.
So we are going to start with our rapid fire. I think we're just gonna kick it off with the ongoing situation with Mr. West. We decided that we were gonna touch on the fact that Kim made a statement.
Yes.
We know through the week that Kanye started his week with more craziness. I don't want to use craziness, but it was his behavior.
More chaos, I would say. Chaotic behavior and tweets and that sort of thing.
He's clearly having an episode. It's really unfortunate. But he has caused quite a stir. And he's caused quite a media frenzy. I've heard rumors that he's tweeted that he's going to divorce Kim, or Kim's going to divorce him. Yeah. The rumor mill is having a field day with it. I'd like to focus on the fact that the man was clearly having a manic episode, as Kim addressed. You and I both struggle with bipolar, with that. We understand what happens with that, and it's nice to actually see some transparency and some honesty in regards to bipolar disorder, especially there's a lot of people that look up to Kanye and a lot of people that respect him. And a lot of people who respect Kim. And I think that for the people who don't respect Kim, I think this will give them a view into her life. And if you don't respect her, you probably should.
Yeah. And not only that, it's bringing to light a whole conversation around mental health and how the media portrays it if somebody is a celebrity. So the likes of Halsey and Demi Lovato have come out to, basically yell at the press to say, listen, the man is clearly going through a manic episode, and you can't necessarily egg him on. You can't make fun or make light of what he is saying, because to him it is factual. As someone, so for myself, I am bipolar type 2, which means I have more depressive episodes versus manic episodes. But when you're manic, you feel invincible. Like you are Superman. You speed, not just speed like, oh, I'm doing 130 on the 401. No, you are doing like 160, 170. You cannot be stopped. You can jump off. You think you can jump off the freaking roof of a building because you'll fly because you're Superman. You'll go on spending sprees. Addictions really get come out of the closet in that form because you think you're invincible and addiction won't impact you because you're better than that, quote
Obsessive
unquote.
compulsive is really,
Obsessive
yeah.
compulsive as well, right? And so the man is going through a severe manic episode, and I we talked about him, especially on our first episode, about him wanting to run for president and this, that, the other. And logically, we said that doesn't make any sense. He's missed like these deadlines and all this sort of thing. So we don't know what this is and if he's doing it for attention, general attention, not because he was going through this type of episode. But if he was just doing it for attention, it wasn't. It was a really terrible time given the state of the country, the state of what the United States is in right now, with COVID and Black Lives Matter and so many other things. You name it, they seem to be going through it right now. But the fact that when you put the light that no, this is actually a manic episode, then the conversation needs to shift entirely. And it's not that, oh, what a publicity stunt that, he's trying to run for president. Instead, it's like, what help can we give him and how can we make sure he's getting the appropriate help so that
This doesn't
this doesn't
escalate.
happen again. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't escalate to a point where he is ruining his life if the rumors are true that he is looking to divorce Kim and separate from everything in life and whatever.
And I
Every day
mean,
there's something new.
yeah, and I mean, like, he's gonna come down from this manic episode, and he's gonna and this is what people don't realize is that, like, what he said about his daughter. I'm not going to repeat it,
Yeah,
because it doesn't need to be repeated. But he's gonna come down from a manic episode, and he's going to see that, and that's gonna throw him into a depressive episode.
exactly.
And so people just need to hold on, wait a minute, and like just leave the man alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And in future episodes, we will have more in depth conversations around mental health. And we'll be inviting some folks from CAMH, the Canadian Mental Health Association, and a few other places as we delve deeper into these sorts of topics. Because for both Ali and I, these are they're passion topics, but they're also what we live day in and day out. I shared my diagnosis. But everybody has a different experience with mental health and mental illness. And so, to hear from us, it's just our experience, but we want to have, professionals who can give even better information and make sure that we are, if we're saying something incorrect, that they can clarify and, teach us along the
Yep,
way. But stay
exactly.
tuned for those future episodes.
Perfect.
Segueing into another.
Next one, that goes next to Miss Britney Spears. Jamie, and actually today I believe brother Brian
Mhm.
has spoken out and said, hey, this is, I don't know what Brian said, I haven't had a chance to read it, but basically she echoed what Halsey and Kim said, but also kind of alluded to like, leave sister alone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nobody needs to know the inner workings of what she's going through. And the reason that Jamie Lynn Spears hadn't said anything, so her sister, was simply because Britney didn't want her to.
Yep.
That's something else that Britney doesn't want people to know the ins and outs of her day to day life, her mental well being. And you know what? While we do talk about entertainment, we that's not entertainment. That aspect of it is somebody's life. And I say that as we talk about it. But like we said, the mental health component is something that we're really interested in, and how this is playing out in terms of what the fans think is happening versus what is actually happening versus the other what is actually happening. As Dr. Phil has said before, no matter how flat you make a pancake, there's two sides. And it seems like her mother and her father have two very differing sides to what's going on. So somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Yeah.
And fans seem to be piggybacking off of anything that is negative around the conservatorship and not necessarily looking at any of the positive that comes from it.
I would agree with
Yeah, and I think, if it is negative and the negative are the facts, then the court needs to step in and rectify the situation and fix it and make it what it needs to be. And if instead the assumptions and the rumors are just that, assumptions and rumors, then the conservatorship seems to be working for her if that's the case. She's had a residency. She, a great residency, like sold out residency in Vegas. Multiple albums have come out since, that sort of thing. So it's kind of,
yeah.
yeah,
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough situation. I feel like I can't nobody can speak to something unless they've been in that situation, and I feel like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we'll see what the court says. They did convene on the 22nd, and they're still, if I recall correctly, the last I read, they're still deciding as to what's going to happen from that conservatorship. So the decision is still to be made. So we'll
I
provide an update on that.
Yeah, I do think that
Um,
she should be given the opportunity. It's been 13 years. I do think that she should be given the opportunity to prove herself.
yeah,
That's where my opinion lies, is that she should be given the opportunity to say, "Hey, I've been under this for 13 years. Give me a chance. Give me like a year trial run. If it goes to shit in 6 months, then
so be it. Yeah, yeah.
some happy news.
Happy news to end this off. Happy news.
Yeah,
Happy.
babies, humans, little
Babies!
tiny humans.
Other people are growing them.
Yes. Apparently Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel had a baby. You told me this, but like, what?
Yeah, okay, so uh, I got the lowdown on this one. Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake welcomed their second child via surrogacy, and it was super secretive. Nobody knew anything until the baby came.
Ooh.
And now,
What did they
that's a good question. They had a baby.
have?
Elle.com says the Daily Mail reported on Saturday that Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake welcomed a second son into their family. The Mail said that the couple had their son earlier last week and had been spending time at home with the new baby and his older brother Silas, who is 5.
I knew the new baby's name.
The couple has not made an official statement about the new addition.
Oh well.
I'm sorry.
Shucks.
I'm sorry that we don't know the baby's name, but we do know it is a boy.
Sorry. And somebody else had a baby.
Or having a baby.
They have not had the baby yet.
No. Emma Roberts and Garrett Hudland, who I think are a very interesting couple that I didn't realize were a couple, and this is apparently a surprise.
I still thought, what's his face from American Horror Story?
Yes, Peter something.
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. There we go. Together we'll get the names. She's with Garrett Hudland, and they are expecting their first child, which they have commented that it was a surprise. But they know the sex of the baby. They have not shared it with anybody. They're keeping that close to the vest, and yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, like when
babies. Happy news.
I mean, like when your dad is Eric Roberts. I mean.
And your aunt is Julia Roberts.
I love how I don't even mention that.
Just throwing that one out there.
But I have a thing for B actors, so
it's all about the B actors.
They've got charisma.
Oh lordy. But yeah, that's really our show for this week. Again, it was just we want to change things up for another time.
Next week we promise it will be in the same theme of self-care, loving yourself, and happiness.
And everything that we're passionate about, what we like to talk about, that sort of thing. We'll still have those entertainment headlines, and who knows, maybe down the line those might go. Because Lord only knows at this stage what we're keeping, what's going to make the following week. But we can promise you next week.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Next week will 100% be about managing stress after COVID. We can guarantee you that. I have no idea on that what is going.
We're going to try some things. We're going to talk about some things that are working for us, that aren't working for us. What excites us the most about. I know Durham region has just entered phase 3.
Phase 3 last week.
Shush, we just entered it. What does that mean? What, going back to work, how stress inducing that could be, that sort of thing. So we're going to have those types of conversations next week. And we definitely want to hear from you if you have any questions or any comments.
Actually, I'm going to throw a question out for people to answer us for next week. Do you want to go back to work? Do you like yeah, do you want yeah, because nobody actually wants to go back to work. Have you been working from home? Have you been laid off? Whatever your situation is, that you weren't working through this, and now you've been called back to the office or back to work. Do you want to go? What are your concerns? What are your questions? What do you want to know from us that maybe we can prepare an answer for next week? Because you guys matter to us, and we want to know.
Let us know.
Yep, exactly.
Same time, same place, but with another great topic, and we're going to focus on handling stress after COVID.
Yeah, and if you miss us, or you just want your fill of Ali and Maddie, or you just want to look at our faces, you can follow us on Facebook. You know what? I'm just trying to breathe some confidence into the world.
Oh, that's the end of the show. That's clearly
Facebook.com/Ali and Maddie. Instagram, Ali and Maddie. Twitter,
Ali and Maddie.
Ali and Maddie podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And if you are watching RuPaul's Drag Race season finale of season 5 of All Stars, don't ruin it for me. I'll be watching it after this.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Spoiler-free zone, by the way. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Love you. Bye. Bye.